Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Lufa, dropping in with an extremely early Christmas special. Except, is it that early? It seems like every year people start to begin celebrating Christmas even earlier than the one before, and coming out of the woodworks with all these traditions that they've been dying to unleash. You got traditional stuff like baking and hanging up tinsel, and of course, putting up the tree. But at the same time, there are many new and digital traditions which have only recently started to take off. It's true that the internet and its many memes have become an important part of pop culture, and the holidays are no exception. The meme about how Mariah Carey starts to defrost as the season approaches is one of the most popular, and even though people say that they despise that song, I'm pretty sure that they look forward more to complaining about it than actually hating the song itself. Like, I'm pretty sure that if All I Want for Christmas Is You was taken off retail stores for a year, and people realized that it wasn't actually gonna play, they'd be sad. They'd be like, packing up their folder of memes that they weren't going to be able to use. Except for retail workers, they would actually probably be happy. The snail slowly chasing you for $1 million scenario is almost like the Die Hard of memes. A lot of people might say it doesn't have to do with Christmas just because it's only about a snail and immortality, but at the same time, its theme song is War is Over, also known as Happy Xmas, and it also happens to start trending around that time of year. But perhaps one of the most popular of these new Christmas traditions is celebrating the Sprite Cranberry commercial. So if you don't know, it all started on November 17th, 2017, when Sprite aired a new commercial called Want a Sprite Cranberry. Now, to be completely honest with you, there isn't really anything too crazy about this commercial right off the bat. It starts off with just a family gathering for Christmas, posing for pictures and preparing to eat, and all is well until a kid opening a freshly wrapped drone causes a cat to knock over a tree. Now, by this point, you're probably thinking, oh no, that tree is about to fall down and kill that dog. But fortunately, LeBron James shows up just in time to catch the tree and saves the day, all the while seamlessly offering us a Sprite Cranberry. The rest of the commercial basically plays out with everyone drinking Sprite and the dog only suffering minor head trauma. It's a perfect commercial and nothing went wrong, so why did it become a meme? The obvious answer is the way that LeBron says, "Want a Sprite Cranberry?" and the way it just rhymes with query. But after seeing how people have treated a few other company promotions lately, I have a theory of my own, which I will divulge into before getting into the Sprite Cranberry Cult. You see, the internet has this way of sort of wanting to defile commercials. Not just any commercials, but more specifically the ones that seem a little bit too perfect. For instance, the Grimace Shake promotion had no implication that it was supposed to be a horror cautionary tale, yet that's exactly what it became. People saw this happy and innocent birthday celebration, and it was the perfect thing to ruin. It's all about corrupting a company's straight-edge promotion with something that the advertisers never intended for. The infamous Burger King Whopper 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 commercial is also an interesting example of this. Basically, for the majority of the last football season, this commercial was being spammed constantly. You couldn't watch a game without it being played at least half a dozen times. That would be normal for an ad campaign if it wasn't for the fact that it happened at a really inappropriate moment. Just then, Bills player Damar Hamlin had suffered a painful and life-threatening injury live on television. And only a moment after it happened, the footage cut to this Burger King commercial, which was just not bringing the right vibe to the situation. Now, when this happened, I was expecting Burger King to be in some hot water. Even though it was the network's fault for playing the commercial, Burger King still seemed like it was going to take some backlash for this. Instead, after a brief moment of shock, the public just embraced this commercial's bizarre timing by just spamming it everywhere and giving Burger King a huge amount of promotion for something that probably should not have been encouraged. And now they've made like 20 remixes of that song and commercial, even though it's only popular because it happened at such a scandalous time. People just love to turn ads into memes, and the same thing happened with the Sprite Cranberry Cult. Now, before the cult existed, the meme was still around without it, and it lived on the same principle. This commercial was nice, a little too nice, and people just decided to flip it upside down with their memes. For context, this was considered wacky and funny in 2017. The thing about Sprite Cranberry, though, is that it had a much longer lifespan compared to most things that get popular on the internet. Most of the time, after a few weeks or days, something like this will just die out and not be considered funny anymore. It's the same way that if I mention Ant-Man crawling into Thanos, I'll lose subscribers. But due to its connection to the holiday season, Sprite Cranberry keeps coming back. Every year from 2018 until now, the commercial gets reposted even before the Mariah Carey mass hysteria can begin. Now, the previous years before 2023 were pretty regular stuff. Just people making videos of them stocking up on the drink and updating their memes about it. Nothing really too cultish about it. But this year has been different, with the emergence of the Sprite Cranberry Cult. So if you don't know what a TikTok cult is, basically it's a trend where everyone uses the same profile picture and posts videos about the same thing. It can really be anything as long as everybody is willing to jump on the same bandwagon for it. I was personally surprised to see something like this resurface in 2023 because it feels like a very 2020 sort of TikTok thing to to do. Back then, you had multiple of these cults actually waging war with each other. There were the Step Chickens, which was actually apparently the name of this creator's persona, and she used her face to lead thousands of people into other people's comments to try and convert them. My personal favorite was the Lego Star Wars cult because you could choose any profile from that game and be considered a part of it, so there was some individuality there. But no matter what, all of these cults eventually just died because of the sort of principle I was talking about earlier. These types of trends have a very short shelf life, no matter how many people insist on their loyalty to the duck. And so the very idea of a TikTok cult evaporated for a long time, with no one even remembering the concept existed. And yet, we have the Sprite Cranberry Cult. Now, like these other cults I spoke about, the Sprite Cranberry Cult basically revolves around the profile picture. It's a way for people to say that they're a part of it and to recognize each other in other comment sections, so they know who and who is not inside of it. All you have to do is screenshot the can, edit your profile, and you're in, which means that a lot of people are able to do it very quickly, and this picture of a Sprite Cranberry can is just everywhere. I can't escape it no matter how much I scroll. It's even inside of my comments. The weirdest thing about this cult is that LeBron James left Coca-Cola 2 years ago. They're not even airing commercials with him in them anymore, yet this cult is one of the most popular I've ever seen. They flood the comment sections of both their allies and foes alike, with a sharp emphasis on the follow for follow system. Now, this is another thing that's really weird to see in 2023, but pretty much everyone is trading follows to try and get higher follower counts to, I guess, show how powerful the cult is. It's like the least dangerous pyramid scheme ever. In fact, I'm not even sure you can consider this a cult since no one's making money from it. Kind of defeats the purpose if you ask me. Really, the most sensational thing to come out of this one is that people pretty much just flex the power of getting tens of 20 followers added to their account, which you think by now most people would realize is not a good way to have a sustainable social following, as everyone is probably thinking to themselves, I'm just gonna unfollow these guys so they don't notice, which makes you imagine that the cult might fall apart. And that might have already happened if it wasn't for the fact that the cult actually has a leader. It's this guy at Okron. Sorry if it's pronounced OK Kron, but Kron has been making videos about Sprite Cranberry long before the cult existed. He's basically the ringleader who rallies everybody before August is even over, and has been doing this for years. He's got the whole Sprite Cranberry outfit secured, and promotes the trend every year to returning viewers, making content all about how Sprite Cranberry is gonna take over again and again and definitely won't die before Christmas this time. He gives Sprite Cranberry arms tutorials, tells people how to say it in Spanish, and has even successfully launched and gotten a Sprite Cranberry app to reach number 3 on the casual app store charts. Now, just as there are a lot of people who are Sprite cult fanatics, there are an equally large amount of people who are opposed to it, leading endless smear campaigns with brutal slander against cult members. This group is adamant that the people who identify with the cult are nothing but a bunch of fools following a trend that is sure to die, launching cleverly devised counter-propaganda like this video. I don't even know how that guy sleeps at night after posting such a vicious attack. Well, in the nuclear arms race that is beefing over very temporary things, one cult member posted this. Absolutely gut-wrenching stuff. The question in the air for everyone right now is how long will this last? The movement got a lot of momentum just due to the irony of starting so early, but it could hurt it in the long run since it still has a long time to go. Kron and his supporters are certain that it's never going to die, but there are many who hope it ends before October. This stuff is getting dangerous, so I'm gonna get out of here before I get hit with a stray Pac-Man nerd gif. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and check out this one I made about Murr's punishments, and thanks for watching. I'm Lufa.